The Nice Guys was written and directed by Shane Black, and it stars Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling. The movie is set in the late 70s LA, and it revolves around two characters. Russell Crowe is kind of a hired thug, and Ryan Gosling plays a private detective. These two mismatched characters wind up being teamed together in the case of a missing girl. Now, once they go looking for the missing girl, one thing leads to another. The case becomes this whole big avalanche of mysteries and things happening and twists and turns and all sorts of stuff, and it is freaking awesome. Now, this was a movie that I really wanted to see. I'm a big fan of Shane Black. For those who don't know who he is, he wrote the original Lethal Weapon. He's done some other great stuff. He's a really good writer. He directed a couple of mediocre movies like Iron Man 3, which was good but not great. He also did a great movie called Kiss Kiss Bang Bang that had Robert Downey Jr. and Val Kilmer. Now, as far as I'm concerned, Shane Black should be put on the same pedestal as Quentin Tarantino, Joss Whedon, the kings of cool dialogue and, well, cool stories. Shane Black's stuff, it goes against movie conventions in a lot of ways. Like, you know, there's a lot of situations where things happen that kind of seem a little bit too surreal, but it knows it's a movie, so it doesn't really care. Even the first scene of The Nice Guys, my girlfriend actually said to me, this has got to be a dream sequence, because it just seemed a little crazy, but it wasn't, and it was great. So the script for The Nice Guys is off the charts awesome. The dialogue was just fantastic. It is so funny. It is easily Shane Black's funniest movie that he's written to date. The characters were exceptionally well done. They weren't your typical sort of super cop buddies, you know, like you sort of expect from like your Lethal Weapons, that sort of thing. Russell Crowe was this guy who suffered from extreme anger management issues, and Ryan Gosling was an alcoholic who was dealing with depression and trying to be a father to a young girl. But the chemistry between the two was amazing. I've said before that I'm not a huge Russell Crowe fan, but man, he was so good in this. Really, everything about this movie looked perfect. The 70s aesthetic was so well done, you could have sworn you were actually watching a movie from the 70s. And, you know, a lot of times, even though there was no sort of tricky camera shots or anything like that, just the art department, set design, the color palette of this film, you know, everything just lent so much to creating great shots. And there was always something happening. There was never a dull moment in the whole 2-hour runtime. The action scenes were fantastically done. There were, you know, there was no sort of close-up blurry editing or anything like that. You could clearly see everything that was going on. They were inventive and funny at times. And one thing that I really noticed in this, and, you know, watching some of Shane Black's earlier stuff like Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, is that this guy loves the characters he's writing. You can just tell, because so much care and attention to detail is given in the dialogue and the relationships between them. And from a writer's point of view, you can really tell that this guy, you know, he just loves the worlds he's creating, and it comes through in the screen. You know, it's the kind of thing, the movie is a joy to watch because you can tell it was a joy to make. And another major plus that really won me over with this flick was Ryan Gosling's daughter in the film, played by Angourie Rice, I believe her name is pronounced. Man, she was awesome. Not just the actress and the way that she played the character, but she had something to do. You know, she wasn't just kind of like a kid sidekick sort of character. Like, she really had a lot to do, and, you know, particularly helping the heroes towards the end, etc. And that was really commendable. Now, one thing that some people are pointing out, including my girlfriend, is that, you know, the ending let it down. But personally, for me, I dug it. It was an atypical ending. You know, it wasn't I'm not going to give away any spoilers. You know, it wasn't your typical, you know, the good guys win, high five each other at the end kind of thing. It was, I guess, a bit more of a realistic ending. It wasn't a downer ending by any means, but yeah, look, for me personally, it didn't let the film down at all. Now, the one thing that really bothers me with this, you know, lately I've been talking about how so many reviews I've been doing, that sort of thing, have been for sequels or remakes or reboots. This time around, you know, we've got this amazing film, this original, fresh story that is just so well done. But I did some research, and it's a box office flop. I mean, the critics have gone nuts over it. Rotten Tomatoes, for what it's worth, you know, it holds a 91% fresh on there. And honestly, I've spent the last couple of days trying to find faults with this movie, but I can't think of any. I really can't. It was one of the best movies I've seen this year, and to read that it was flopping at the box office is so disheartening. I'm pretty sure it's still playing at the moment. It's probably not down to too many screenings, but guys, seriously, if you get a chance, support this movie. Go out and see it. If you like a good sort of a detective action comedy kind of movie, you are not going to be disappointed. It was amazing. Before the movie, they showed the trailer for Central Intelligence with The Rock and Kevin Hart, and I was kind of watching that and thinking to myself, well, I mean, you can't judge from a trailer, but it just looked like the same kind of stuff we've seen so many times before, and I was pretty underwhelmed by it. And I actually thought to myself, I wonder if we're actually ever going to get a decent action comedy. And then The Nice Guys came on and just blew me away. It was perfect. So seriously, if you get a chance, go and see it. I am giving The Nice Guys a 10 out of 10. Like I said, I can't fault the movie. There was just nothing about it that I could possibly say I didn't like. It was perfect and is definitely going to be in my top 10 for the end of the year. So hey, if you've seen The Nice Guys, let me know what you thought. I would love to talk about this movie with everybody because I am so in love with it. It was one of those flicks, as it was playing before my eyes, I'm just thinking to myself, oh man, I am in love with this movie, and one day it needs to sit here proudly on my shelf. So drop me some comments below, either here on YouTube or on Facebook. All my social media links are down below because I like to talk about movies and I would love to talk about movies with you, especially this one. Talk to you soon.
Hey you there. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Click subscribe. You see the big word up the top that says subscribe? Well, click on it. Click on it now! Do it! Yeah!